Hello, and welcome to a grab and go opportunity put on by me, Christine, the teen librarian at the Jones Creek branch of the East Baton Rouge Parish Library System. Our activity for today will be air dry clay photo or card holders that look like little mountains. The materials you will need are a baggie of air dry clay, 2 lengths of wire. This is 20 gauge wire and about a foot long for each piece. A paintbrush. Paint in white, gray, blue, and black. This will come in little condiment cups, like this. And perhaps most unexpectedly, you will need a bookmark or another stiff piece of card. Let's get started. I'm going to open my bag of clay and take it out. I'll be working on top of the bag to keep my table nice and clean. This stuff is really nice. So what we're going to do is give it a bit of a squish to make sure it's all mixed together and nice. If it's dried out a little bit in its journey to you, you can add the tiniest bit of water so that it gets back to looking like this. Just sort of droplet it on and smoosh it around. Now, what we need to do is make some mountains. I'm making a sort of square shape to begin with. And then I'm going to use my bookmark or piece of stiff card to cut it in two. There we go. That makes such a nice line. Now, I need to make it look more mountainy. So I'm going to push in the edges while having it stand straight up. I'm going to smooth out the face you can see with my finger like this, to remove the creases and bends in it. Let's see, if I go all in one direction, that does a pretty good job. Now, when it is a photo holder, it's going to stand like this. So I need to make sure it can stand on its own. All right, now I've made 2 mountains and have a bit of clay left over. One of them is a pyramid shape that's more 3-dimensional, and one of them is the more flat shape. I'm going to see which one I prefer after I decorate them. The way I made this one was I shaped it in my hands roughly, and then I trimmed away the edges by holding my piece of card taut and sliding it down. Here's my piece of wire. I'm going to wrap around twice so that there are 2 pieces. This will be what holds my card in the end. The other 2 pieces I'm going to twist together and stick into my mountain. There we go. Here's my other piece of wire. Again, you wrap it around once and twice around the middle of the piece of wire, and then twist the 2 pieces together. Who knew the paintbrush served multiple purposes? Slide it off the paintbrush and insert into the mountain. That one wanted to come out the back a bit, so be sure you do it straight up and down. So here are my pieces as they are now. And this extra piece that I'm going to put back into my baggie and save for an adventure later on. Air dry clay needs to dry overnight, though it's better if you wait longer, of course. We'll come back when my pieces are dry and we'll talk about painting and decorating them. This will be 2 days for me and a snap for you. Welcome back. Our air dry clay has dried in the air, and now we have some nice firm mountains to paint. So let's start with a base coat on our mountains. I'm going to use a light gray on one of them and then make a darker gray using my black and white for the other, just for spice. There we go. That's one base coat of silvery gray for one mountain. Let's move on to the next. We'll wait for these to dry a little bit and then add some snow on top and some texture marks along the sides. When your mountains have dried, it's time to add the next color. So I'm going to take my paintbrush and use the white paint to make a sort of mountain snowcap shape at the top. One snow-capped peak. And here's another. Now the last thing, the doodle and stitch block, which is where I got my inspiration for this from, was added little texture lines going down the mountain. So I'm going to do those in blue for this mountain. There, that's how I want this mountain to look. Now, you don't have to follow the same pattern, of course. You can make your own mountains. Or indeed, you might not have made mountains out of your air dry clay at all. It would be smart to clean your paintbrush in between colors. I certainly should do that. But instead, I'm going to paint little black marks on this one. At least I'm going to try. I want to see if they'll stand out against the dark gray. Oh, I think they will. With a paintbrush with plastic bristles like this one, I think it's a better idea to let the paint sort of blob on the end and paint with the blob instead of the bristles, because the bristles aren't very good at any kind of precision work. And strangely enough, a blob of paint is better. Here's my second finished mountain. Here is how a finished photo holder and non-included photo works. You slide the photo or the piece of paper in between the two rings up here, and it is held. If you've enjoyed this craft opportunity, please leave us a like or a comment. Follow us on social media. Return to the library for more grab and go opportunities. Goodbye.